everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And April 7th, 2003 marks 20 years ago that Kevin Nash made his shocking return on WWE Raw after a 9-month absence due to sustaining a severe quad injury back in July 2002. And for today's special edition, I am going to be talking about Kevin Nash's run from April 2003 to August 2003. And I'll be talking about the success and failures of that run. Now, as we all remember, Kevin Nash was brought back to WWE by Vince McMahon in February 2002 at No Way Out as part of the original NWO incarnation of himself, Scott Hall, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And that run didn't really get off to a great start. He tore his bicep in April, returned in May the following month, got cleared in July, and then in the same month tore his quad and was put on the shelf for 9 months and became the butt of tore my quad gags and a whole series of memes. Now, Kevin Nash made his return the following week after the post WrestleMania Raw when he saved Shawn Michaels from a beatdown from Triple H, Chris Jericho, and Ric Flair. Now, that run, as I mentioned, lasted from April 2003 to August 2003. Now, we all know that Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they had an incredible rivalry during the Ruthless Aggression era. And, you know, putting Kevin Nash in that mix, I mean, it was okay, but it just felt kind of weird and forced because, you know, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, of course, have got the long history. You know, they've got such a big, deep story, you know, from the early days of the Click to being in DX and beyond that. You know, there was so much history and story to draw from. So when they added Kevin Nash as the third man in the mix, I mean, yeah, it was cool to see him in the middle trying to keep these two guys from killing one another and trying to get them both back on the same page. But I just kind of felt that, just felt a bit forced really, because this led to a rivalry with Triple H and Kevin Nash. You know, Triple H, of course, made Nash choose between him or HBK, and ultimately Triple H made the decision for him by low blowing him. Well, we all know that I think Nash chose HBK in the end, but this led to a rivalry which lasted a couple of months. And in all honesty, I mean, the rivalry was okay, but I didn't really feel fully invested in it as I did with Triple H and Shawn Michaels due to their long history. There wasn't really much to delve into with Hunter and Nash because during that whole time, Nash was in WCW trying to put WWE out of business. So there wasn't really much of a story to go with. And, you know, the promos were okay. I didn't really like their matches that much. I didn't really think Nash had great chemistry with Triple H in the ring. I mean, Judgment Day was boring. The street fight they had at Insurrection was boring. The six-man tag they had at Backlash, it was okay for, you know, what we saw. The Hell in a Cell match that they had at Bad Blood with Mick Foley as the referee, I thought that was probably the best match they had, but for me, it just kind of felt one-sided. It was just Triple H just beating the tar out of Nash, you know, using screwdrivers, sledgehammers, toolboxes, you know, 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire. It was a great match and definitely a lot better than their previous ones. But at the same time, their feud was nothing special. You know, I don't really look back at that feud and say, yeah, that was a great feud. It wasn't that good, to be honest. Thankfully, it didn't last too long. I think it lasted like a couple of months and that was it. But after that, Nash didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, I know him and HBK tagged on and off for a while and they feuded with Evolution members Ric Flair and Randy Orton. But other than that, Nash didn't really do a lot. Nothing that I can remember, that is. And I think probably the best thing about that run was probably his little feud he had in the summer with Chris Jericho. I thought that was quite entertaining. And they had a hair versus hair match where, Y2J low blowed Nash and then got the walls of Jericho on him. And I think Nash tapped out and then he cut all his hair off. And I think I read somewhere that Nash was looking to change his look and get a haircut. So that worked out. And then it wasn't a great run, to be honest. It wasn't terrible. I mean, he lasted longer than his 2002 run. Let's say that. He didn't get injured. Thank God for that. He was in and out of the main event picture. He didn't win any championships. I would have liked to have seen him and HBK win the tag team titles one more time and reform their two dudes with attitude team. I think that could have been good. But other than that, I don't really think there was much else that Nash did that I would say, you know what, that was pretty good. I think maybe Nash could have turned heel, perhaps. Maybe he could have jumped to SmackDown. That could have been interesting. Could have seen him mix up with Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Undertaker for old time's sake, Angle, Guerrero, Benoit. We could have got to see those matches, but I just felt Nash floundered a lot on Raw. He didn't really do a lot. His final match he had in WWE was at SummerSlam in the Elimination Chamber, and he did okay. Sadly, we didn't get to see him and Goldberg mix it up for old time's sake, but success and failures. Would I deem Nash's run in 2003 a success? Not really. Would I say it was a failure? Yeah, I probably would say it was a bit of a failure, but there was some good stuff to it. He didn't get injured. He was pretty solid, and he was a bit more reliable than he was in 2002 in terms of his role on the show. So, yeah, he was a good fixture to have around, pretty entertaining. But other than that, I would say overall it was pretty much a failure. As I said, the feud with Hunter, nothing great. His program with Y2J was probably the best thing I liked about that run. Maybe him and Sean should have mixed it up one more time. We've seen him do good stuff in the past. Maybe we could have seen that. But I would say overall, the 2003 run was not that great. And Nash was gone after SummerSlam. I think he hurt his neck or something and they didn't renew his contract and he was gone. And he showed up in TNA, I think like a year later or something. And he stayed there as part of the main events Mafia with Angle, Sting, and Booker T and Steiner and Sharmell. But yeah, overall, I would say Nash's 2003 run was a failure. I love Nash, but it is what it is. I think his short run that he had in 2011 was slightly better, but not that much. I wouldn't say it was that great. And plus, he was a lot older as well. So yeah, overall, love Nash, but I think this run was pretty much a failure. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What did you think of Kevin Nash's 2003 run? Did you enjoy it? Do you deem it a success or a failure? What was your favourite moments during that time? Did you like his feud with Triple H? Did you like his feud with Chris Jericho? What was your favourite match with Kevin Nash during that run? Was it the Hell in a Cell against Triple H? Did you like his involvement in the Elimination Chamber? Did you like the six-man tag at Backlash? And I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until next time, take care everybody and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.